All right, on to concerns over the rising cost of artificial intelligence. It led to a major tech stock sell-off that dragged down the S&P and Nasdaq, which fell more than 500 points, and the Dow finishing down 45 points. So let's take a look at our interactive stock market heat map. This is brought to you by FinViz, and right now it's showing the top 500 stocks. You can see the chip sector all in red right there with NVIDIA, AMD and Micron Technology, all of them down. So joining us now is CBS News senior business and tech correspondent Jo Ling Kent to break all of this down. So Jo Ling, we're certainly seeing NVIDIA and other chip makers, the stock really that's supposed to be on the up and up, riding the AI wave. So what's happening now?
They're riding a different kind of wave out of South Korea, the Kospi declining overnight over concerns about chips there, that having an echoing effect on the market today. There's this ongoing concern, though it's not a specific concrete catalyst, about the frothiness, the valuation of some of these companies, especially as we look ahead to tomorrow, to Micron reporting earnings tomorrow when the market opens. So what we have is a concern here about where these AI stocks could be headed and the payout for investors in the medium term, especially. We've been talking with analysts, and in a note today, James Riley at Capital Economics said today's big falls in tech stocks without any major catalyst are another illustration of what he calls rising volatility in these stocks, a result of what he calls increasingly a frothy earnings expectation and or valuation. So that's really where this is coming from. It also doesn't help that, so much of the market is so reliant on these stocks performing well to carry the rest of the market with it.
Yeah, we're used to seeing them on the up and up. So what does this then tell us about the AI market? Does this point to an AI bubble?
It's interesting because it's only been a few days that we've seen this particular trend line, and we've been talking to analysts across the industry, especially those who are watching these tech stocks. We heard from Wedbush Securities' Dan Ives today, and he really said, what happened in South Korea, and as it's echoing here in the United States, he says it's a pullback, a breather on a market that has been up almost 100% this year. So maybe a healthier correction in the eyes of Dan Ives. But, a lot depends on what happens next. We obviously just went through the SpaceX IPO. There was a lot of exuberance and excitement around that, even though some of the fundamentals of the company are still major question marks. We also know that both Anthropic and OpenAI have filed confidentially their S1s to go public at some point in the near or distant future. So how the market receives those potential IPOs will be a big indicator as well. But, according to Wedbush Securities and Dan Ives over there, he says it's showing no cracks in the armor, in his words, and so they remain very bullish on this front, but certainly important to watch what is happening in South Korea as an indicator for what could play out here. But it's only Tuesday. We'll have to wait and see what happens the rest of this week.
Yeah, good information. Thanks so much, Jo Ling Kent. Appreciate it.